I have a mission with this video to inspire you to go and build with whatever material you might have around. So for this build I'll use some cardboard boxes and some very simple tools like a hot glue gun, a snap knife or a pair of scissors if you feel it's safer, a metal ruler and some additional gluing methods like super glue, white glue and some good old masking and double-sided tape. I began breaking the boxes down to smaller pieces that were easier to handle. And I suggest you do the same if you decide to try it yourself, which is really my goal right here. When I began this build, I had no idea of the shapes that I wanted to create, and this is the purpose of this experimentation, to move freely and try stuff. I began by gluing some sheets together using double-sided tape, and what's cool about this technique is that you have to carefully measure just the first piece and use that as a template for the next layers. Now if things end up a little misaligned like it did right here, you just have to use a snap knife to trim everything at once. Also, you might want to hide the cardboard layers which can look ugly, and you can do that just by gluing an extra strip perpendicularly. This also gives you a smooth surface for attaching things later on, and this is where the hot glue shines, filling the gaps in between the layers. You just gotta be careful with the snap knife when you're trimming the excess. And pretty quickly you'll have some big shapes going, and these are super easy to change. Like say you want to create an angle on a corner, just draw some lines, mark the surface and use a snap knife to remove the material. And again, you can use some hot glue and some extra pieces of cardboard to hide those ugly layers. At that point, I began having an idea of what I was building, a two-legged robot. So I began putting together what would be the waist of this robot. I stacked shapes of cardboard to reach a thickness and got rid of the ugly layer lines using hot glue and strips of cardboard. Then I traced some circles with an acrylic shape I had, and to cut it I actually went with a pair of scissors this time. I'm pretty sure there's an easy way to do that just didn't occur to me at the moment. These discs will be the axle for the legs, so I just stacked like a bunch of them together with some hot glue. And then I of course glued one on each side of the waist piece. I kinda got ahead of myself, added a couple of extra structures and threw a coat of primer on the thing just to see how it was going. Then I threw some lines with a marker cause I thought it would be interesting to see the shapes, the geometries hidden on the model. It's cool to see how everything is just a combination of simple geometries together. And here's a quick tip to build fast. You can simply make cuts with the same size, alternating through the top and the bottom face, of course not going all the way through the cardboard, just like I did right there. Then you'll end up with this accordion shape, and you can simply glue it together to make some thicker bodies, nice and easy. That rectangular piece is going to be used on the legs, so I actually made a couple of those. Then I began putting the legs together with some hot glue, but in order to reinforce the joints, I actually decided to use a toothpick, which is a very cheap material that is very useful. But it could be anything like aluminum wire or copper wire, whatever you have in hand. Again, right here I'm hiding the layers with the hot glue and an extra strip of cardboard. And then before I installed the layers on the robot, I decided to actually put it on a wooden base to see it standing up like it should. And this is where everything starts to make sense. When you see that in a single afternoon, you can kind of test some geometries and ideas, and you see a little robot standing up. This is very fun. After working with cardboard for a while, I decided to make some basic shapes like discs and squares to speed up the build process. Basically what I already do with the laser cut acrylic shapes I've been using for years in my projects. This is something that I really recommend you guys doing with whatever materials you end up using, be it cardboard, wood, or even plastic. I grabbed a few of those shapes I just cut and began adding some details to the robot to give it some character. I know that right here I'm close to the finish line, but you'll define how far you wanna go. Do you wanna just make a quick study for your next project, or do you wanna try experimenting with different types of paper and maybe try to get it to the next level of detail? It's really up to you, and the possibilities are endless. I bet you can really focus on these types of build and make some incredible things. My goal with this project in this video was to inspire you, no matter what you choose to work with, be it wood, plastic or cardboard, 3D printing, everything is a medium and you can really express yourself and try some ideas. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this one, and as always, thanks for watching.